Hey everybody! So, it's been an interesting couple of days. I live in the area that just had the earthquake in North Carolina. And so I currently have a migraine going on. So as soon as I get done recording this, I'm turning that light off. But I thought I would talk about the earthquake a little bit. And I smile when I say this, although there are 3 families that were displaced from the earthquake. So there are, and I have friends whose homes are in worse shape than mine and everything. But that's JoJo. And that's Purr. I have friends that have had worse damage than myself, but I'm still trying to find out exactly how bad my damage is, because my initial reaction was, oh, it's not bad, it's just hairline cracks in the foundation. But the more and more I think about it, the more worried I am, because the cracks, even though they're hairline and right on the edge of the blocks, cinder blocks, they go all the way across the back of the basement. And some spots, there's 3 or 4 levels of the hairline cracks. None of the blocks themselves look like they have moved separately, at least. And my seal plate and everything doesn't look like it's moved. But I start becoming pessimistic about things and start worrying. And I've got the migraine might be from just stress. Because the wall that has all those cracks is also my north wall, which is this wall over here. And you can see in the background, well, it's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but that is actually more hill going up. And the hill right beside my driveway actually goes higher than the house is. Up to the top of the neighbor's driveway is higher than my house. And then their house is a little further up. And then at the top of the mountain is are some construction buildings. I'm trying not to give too much information. My big concern is when we have heavy rains, or even if it's a light rain over a long period of time, like at least 3 days or more, the ground becomes very saturated and I start leaking in the basement. And so my new concern is about if the dirt gets saturated and heavier than it currently is, will that pressure cave my wall in? And that's what I don't know. So that's my main concern right now. I just had the insurance lady out. I don't have earthquake insurance, but I did learn that they still take a look at things and process things, because she's pretty sure that I have to have a denial from insurance before I can apply for any federal funding, should I qualify for that or need it. So I'm still waiting for the county to call me and schedule to come out. I think they're trying to get everything done this week. So we'll see. I will say at this point, I feel silly about getting so excited / nervous. It's that nervous excitement about the earthquake, because I have cousins out in California and they experience earthquakes all the time, much bigger ones. And so, whoops, it's this side. Ignore it's this side that has the stain. But they're very comfortable and they're cool. The important thing. What was I saying? My cousins, they've experienced bigger ones, and they experience them all the time, especially the 5 point whatever, 4 point, 3 point. In fact, my one cousin, my mom's cousin, send me a map of just the last day. Oh, I can't remember the time span. It might have been the last week of earthquakes for the state of California, and they have a lot. I think half of them were on the San Andreas fault line, going up and down. But I think the reason why this earthquake made such news is because it's very rare for us to have earthquakes, especially where I'm at. In the last 5 point something we had, North Carolina being was in 1916, and that was down in the Asheville area region. That was a 5.5 earthquake, and ours was a 5.1. Our area, I looked at the map for the last 30 days, and there was none up until Saturday. From Saturday until, at the time I'm recording this, which is August 11th. Sorry, burps. See, Saturday was August 8th. Today is August 11th. And our last one that we had was at 6:50 this morning, which woke me up again, startled. But since Saturday, we've had 16 earthquakes. All of those, except for the big one, have been in the 1.9, 2.2, 2.5, somewhere in there. So pre-shocks and aftershocks. 16 for just our area that never has earthquakes, or at least ones that we can feel or hear, is nerve-wracking. And they say that, and I don't know how true this is, but they say that the earthquakes on the East Coast are different from the West Coast, partly because of the rock in our mountain range. And because of that, it actually travels further than it would in the Midwest or West. I don't know how true that is. I'm not a seismologist. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not any of that. So I don't know. But that one on Saturday morning, I was still asleep, the 5.1. I was still asleep when it went off. And all I can tell you is I was startled awake because I just heard this loud crash. That's what I heard. And I jumped out of bed because I thought a tree fell on the house. And I've had a tree fall near the house before, and it was really loud and scary and everything. This one sounded like a tree fell on the house. And so I jolted out of bed and went running because I didn't want the cats to get outside. And by the time I got to the kitchen, which is a short distance, if you guys listen to my other video, short distance, by the time I got to the kitchen, I realized it wasn't a tree that fell on the house. And there was about another second, oh, this is an earthquake. I don't remember any shaking in any of that. I just remember crash and loud. So I don't know if the shaking was because it was over by the time I got out of the bed, and the bed cushioned the shaking, or if it was the adrenaline. I was shaky just about all day Saturday because we kept feeling these boom throughout the day. I heard more of them than I felt. Towards the afternoon, I felt more of them. But I think I counted like 10 from the main one happened. And then I think I counted 10 more that day after that. But there were only like 5 that were recorded on the USGS mapping system. Because when you do all magnitudes, I think only 5 were noted. So that's confusing for me also. I don't know the difference in what you hear and feel, because some of them I felt and they weren't recorded. And I emailed USGS and asked about it, and they said sometimes it just depends on how much the scientists have caught up to the readings and everything. And also it depends on reports and stuff like that. So now every time I at least feel it, I'm noting it on the USGS site, just because, and I don't know if that makes a difference. What? It was scary, wasn't it? Yeah, you hid all day, didn't you? Say, I hid under the couch all day. Purdy, the 19-year-old, she slept all day. She didn't care. And then Buddy, which I don't see Buddy in frame. Buddy is the gray one that you've been seeing in the last couple of videos. She's the twin sister of Smokey, who talked a lot. But Buddy, she walks around like she doesn't give a shit. So I don't know if she was hiding during the big one. I think she was, because, I mean, that shook the house. But otherwise, all these little ones, she doesn't give a shit. So I forget what I was saying before JoJo popped up. It's been an interesting experience. I have a hairline crack on the outside that goes a little bit vertical, probably about that much of a distance. But if there's any damage to my chimney, I'm guessing most of it happened a long time ago, because I have a settling crack in the chimney that we filled in when I moved into the house 20 years ago. So I don't know if it's worth it for me to inspect the chimney or not, but I've got to get it cleaned anyhow, and I understand that chimney cleaners now use cameras to check the chimneys anyhow, so it's probably a good idea to go ahead and get that done. I just thought I'd talk about the experience. I know that we had nothing compared to what folks out west are having. In fact, I've got the desktop notification on for USGS, and Minna, Nebraska, is that where it's at? Minna, Utah, Nebraska, I think it's Nebraska, had a whole bunch all in a row. Alaska's been having a whole bunch. The name of their town starts with a K. I can't remember what it is. And, of course, I've seen California popping up. And Mozambique had a 5-point-something or 4-point-something earthquake. Somebody had a 5-something somewhere in the world. So it's been interesting to also see how often earthquakes are happening around the world. I just thought I'd talk about my experience. I'd also figure I'll go ahead and mention, depending on what emergency management says, I still don't know if I need to replace my wall or not. So I'm trying to get that opinion. And if I do have to replace it, I don't know the term for the house. They might as well total the house, though, like you do your vehicles. Because it's going to cost more than my house is worth. And I know that from when I've had to dig up the driveway from before to fix leak in the basement. I didn't have to replace any cinder blocks, though. just a big mess. If I have to have any work done, or if I have to leave the house because they're afraid that the wall will collapse and there's no point in fixing it because it'll cost too much, that may slow me down for getting videos done, edited and up and everything. So I'll apologize for that. I'm not going to edit this one too much. So you're probably going to have some repeat stuff, and I apologize for that. But I just wanted to go ahead and get this recorded and get it up. And go from there. I will say that I hope that the families that were displaced Saturday, I know there, like I said, there's at least 3 families that were displaced. I hope that things work out for them. As far as I know, there was no major injuries. I know a lady in the next county that had a picture fall on her head, so that wasn't good. It didn't do much damage, but it still hurts, you know. We had a little boy that a picture fell and the glass cut his knee, and so he had a little Band-Aid on his knee, and he was showing that off to the news crew. But those are the only injuries that I know of. Other than that, I've just been looking at the pictures that friends have been putting up of the mess and the damage and everything. I didn't even have much of a mess. I didn't have anything break except for my hair cream from when my hair was permed. It fell out of the medicine cabinet and onto the floor, and the cap part busted off. But everything that fell was either not breakable or didn't break. And I didn't have a lot fall. And I'm actually shocked about that and glad, because my grandmother's vases that are up on the china cabinet, they didn't fall. I have mangum pottery, which our family treasures. They're friends of ours, and so we love their pottery, and none of it fell and broke. And I even have 2 of the cups from them up on a railing up in the kitchen, that they're balanced on the railing, along with some J.R. Ewing beer and Foster's beer and Harley Davidson beer. They're all balanced on this railing because they won't fit. It's like a plate railing. They won't fit behind it. None of that fell. So it's just weird what fell and what didn't. I was lucky in that nothing broke in that respect. I didn't have my chimney fall like some of the houses did. I didn't have facades of the house fall off. We had some of that. So I don't know if I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks or not. But if you see the videos slow down, you now know why. And if things pick up for me, then I will get videos up once things slow back down again. So thanks for listening to me ramble. I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you stay safe. Bye.